This is case number 26-20-ST. We're here for an arraignment. It looks like we've got an agreement, but we'll do the arraignment first. Mr. Allingate, did you have the opportunity to meet with somebody from the defender's office this morning?
Not that I recall.
All right.
Your Honor.
Did I?
He has spoken with someone from our
Oh,
office.
okay.
All right. Did you read and sign this advice of rights form?
Yes, sir.
The contact information on the back, is that accurate? Did you understand those rights? I'm sorry?
Yes.
All right. I have a complaint that alleges that on or about December 24th, 2025 in the city of Cadillac of Wexford County, it is alleged in count number 1 that you committed the offense of operating while your license was suspended, denied, or revoked as a second or subsequent offender. That is a misdemeanor punishable by up to 1 year in jail and or a fine of $1,000 and possible vehicle immobilization. You understand those charges and the potential penalties?
Yes,
Ms. Lawrence, do we have an agreement in this case?
Yes, my understanding is that the two driver license suspended and in turn people will dismiss the second offense notice.
Mr. Allingate, is that accurate?
yes.
All right. Do you understand that you do have the right to have an attorney in this case? And if you could not afford one, one would be appointed to represent you at public expense, but you may be required to repay a portion of that expense.
Yeah, I understand.
Do you still wish to represent yourself?
Yes.
All right. So it's my understanding that you'll be pleading guilty to essentially an added count 2 of operating while your license was suspended, denied, or revoked. That is a misdemeanor punishable by up to 93 days in jail and or a fine of $500. In exchange for that, the people will be dismissing the driving license suspended second. Is that your understanding of the plea agreement?
Yes.
Will you please raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
All right. Back on December 24th of 25, were you on probation or parole?
No.
Were you on bond?
No.
Do you understand that you have a right to a jury trial in this case, and that by entering a guilty plea today, you'll be giving up that right and you won't have a trial of any kind?
Exactly right.
Other than the plea agreement, has anybody promised you anything in order to get you to plea?
No.
Has anybody threatened you in any way?
No.
And is it your own free choice to plea today?
My own choice.
Ms. Lawrence, are you aware of any promises, threats, or inducements that have not made part of the record?
Okay.
Then, Mr. Allingate, to the allegation that on or about December 24th, 2025, in the city of Cadillac of Wexford County, how do you plead to operating while your license was suspended, denied, or revoked as a first offender? In order to accept that plea, I must have you tell me what it is that makes you guilty. So back on December 24th, were you operating a motor vehicle in the city of Cadillac?
Yes.
And at the time of operating that motor vehicle, had your license been suspended, denied, or revoked?
Yes.
And were you aware of that?
Yes.
All right. Ms. Lawrence, do you believe the defendants provided a factual basis in which to accept the plea and that the court rules have been complied with?
Yes.
As does the court, I find the plea is knowing, voluntary, and accurate. Mr. Allingate, I find you guilty of driving a license suspended, denied, or revoked as a first offender. Pursuant to the plea agreement, the second offense is dismissed. Any elocution, Ms. Lawrence?
I would just ask for fines and costs, Your Honor.
Mr. Allingate, you had the right to address the court prior to sentencing. Is there anything you'd like me to know?
Not really.
Okay. Do you know what you need to do in order to get your license back?
Yes.
What do you have to do?
Oh, I'll go through a whole bunch. I've tried it a couple of different times.
Okay.
Secretary of State, all this. Meetings, classes, whatnot. Yeah, I do understand that.
And it looks like, at least according to our records, your one and only conviction for this was back in 2022. Is that accurate?
Yeah.
All right, the court will keep this to a fines and cost situation. There is a $75 crime victims' rights fund fee, $50 state minimum fee, $150 fine, $150 court cost. Mr. Allingate, any balance that remains unpaid for more than 56 days will have a 20% penalty added to that.
How much?
20%. Also, because the charged offense requires your fingerprints to be taken, I have signed a fingerprint order. You'll need to, when you leave here, go to the front window, get a copy of your judgment, make a payment if you're able. If not, get set up on a payment plan. And then you'll also have to get a copy of that fingerprint order and have those prints taken by the 15th of February.
15th?
15th. Yep. If you don't do that, your criminal history won't be complete. So it's going to show that this charge is out there outstanding and never resolved.
Okay.
And I know you probably heard me say it before, but you'll have to make arrangements with the sheriff's office. You can't just stop in to get your prints taken. Okay. Do you have any questions for me at all?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, you can go out to the front window.
Thank you.
Thank you. Alleges that on or about December 19th, 2025, I'm sorry, this is case number 25-5111 ST. I have a complaint that alleges that on or about December 19th, 2025, in the city of Cadillac of Wexford County, it is alleged that you committed the offense of operating while your license was suspended, denied, or revoked as a second offender. That is a misdemeanor punishable by up to 1 year in jail and or a fine of $1,000 and possible vehicle immobilization. Do you understand those charges and the potential penalties?
Yes, sir.
You do have the right to be represented by an attorney at all phases throughout this process. And if you cannot afford one, one would be appointed to represent you at public expense, but you may be required to repay a portion of that expense. Today, do you plan to hire an attorney, represent yourself, or request the appointment of an attorney?
Can you request the public defender?
All right, court will make a referral to the public defender's office for the appointment of an attorney. Will enter a not guilty plea on your behalf and will set the matter for a pretrial. That's where your attorney and the prosecutor will get together to see if there's a way to resolve the case short of going to trial. You also have the right to have a bond set. Your bond is based upon the probability of you appearing at future court appointments, the seriousness of the offense charged, and the threat that you pose to the public. Date there. Looks like you were originally supposed to be arraigned on the 8th, but you weren't here. Why is that?
I was staying at my mom's house and I didn't get the mail from my apartment until after the 8th.
All right.
So I've been driving back and forth.
Okay. Ms. Lawrence, do you have an objection to a PR bond in this case?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Rolfe, I'm going to set this for a personal recognizance bond, which is your promise to come back to court with a couple conditions. One is that you appear as ordered, keep your contact information current, not leave the state without permission, and to commit no new crimes. The other is because this charge does require your fingerprints to be taken. I am signing a fingerprint order. You'll need to get a copy of that order at the front window where you checked in. Contact the Wexford County Sheriff's Office and make arrangements to get those prints taken.
Okay.
You can't just stop in. You actually have to have an appointment.
Okay.
And as a condition of your bond, I'm ordering that those prints be taken by February 10th. All right.
Okay.
So go out to the front window where you checked in. You'll have some paperwork to fill out for the defender's office. You'll get your next court date and that fingerprint order.
Cool. Thank you.
Thank you. This is case number 26159 ST. Ms. Combs, did you read and sign this advice of rights form? The contact information on the back, is that accurate? All right. Did you have the opportunity to meet with somebody from the defender's office today?
Yes, I did.
I have a complaint that alleges that on or about January 7th, 2026 in Herring Township of Wexford County, it is alleged in count number 1 that you committed the offense of operating while your license was suspended, denied, or revoked. That is a misdemeanor punishable by up to 93 days in jail and or a fine of $500 and possible vehicle immobilization. Do you understand those charges and the potential penalties?
Yes.
You do have the right to be represented by an attorney at all phases throughout this process. And if you could not afford one, one would be appointed to represent you at public expense, but you may be required to repay a portion of that expense. Today, do you plan to hire an attorney, request the appointment of an attorney, or represent yourself? The court will make referral to the public defender's office for the appointment of an attorney. Will enter a not guilty plea and will set the matter for a pretrial. That's where your attorney and the prosecutor will get together to see if there's a way to resolve the case short of going to trial. Ms. Lawrence, any objection to a personal recognizance bond in this matter?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Ma'am, I'm going to authorize a personal recognizance bond, which is your promise to come back to court with a couple conditions. That you appear as ordered, keep your contact information current, not leave the state without permission, and to commit no new crimes. This charge does require that your fingerprints be taken, so I'm going to order that those prints be taken by February 20th. And I have signed a fingerprint order in that regard. So you'll need to go out to the front window where you checked in, get a copy of your next court date. You'll have some paperwork to fill out for the defender's office, and then you'll need to get a copy of this fingerprint order. Make arrangements with the sheriff's department. You can't just stop in. You'll have to have an appointment, and then get your prints taken. And like I said, those will need to be taken as a condition of your bond by February 20th. Do you have any questions for me at all?
Do I bring they send the prints to you or do I bring them back with me?
We'll get notice that you've been printed. All right,
And do that at the sheriff's office?
yes. Mhm. All right, anything else? Okay, you can go to the front window.
Okay.
Thank you. Good morning. This is case number 2617 OT. Ms. Bills, did you read and sign this advice of rights form?
Yeah.
The contact information on the back, is that
That's-
accurate? Did you have the opportunity to meet with somebody from the defender's office today?
I did, yeah.
I have a complaint that alleges that on or about November 29th, 2025 in the city of Cadillac of Wexford County, it's alleged in count number 1 that you committed the offense of operating a motor vehicle without security or insurance. That is a misdemeanor punishable by a fine of not less than $200 nor more than $500 and or 1 year in jail. Do you understand those charges and the potential penalties? Looks like there's an agreement in this case. Is that accurate, Ms. Lawrence?
Yes, Your Honor. Yes, sir.
And that agreement is what, Ms. Lawrence?
Bills is going to be responsible to a civil infraction of no proof of insurance and in turn will dismiss the no insurance.
Is that your understanding as to what's going to happen today? That's 120.
120.
120. All right, so it's my understanding that you will plead guilty of no proof of insurance, which is a civil infraction punishable by a fine of $120. And pursuant to the plea agreement, the misdemeanor of operating without insurance will be dismissed. Is that your understanding?
Mhm.
All right, will you please raise your right hand? You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes.
Then to the allegation that on or about November 29th, 2025, in the city of Cadillac of Wexford County, how do you plead to the civil infraction of no proof of insurance, responsible or not responsible?
Responsible.
All right, the defendant having entered a responsible plea to the civil infraction, the court hereby imposes a $120 fine. Because the charged offense does require that your fingerprints be taken, I have signed a fingerprint order.
Okay,
It goes by the charge, not the resolution.
okay,
So I'll need you to get a copy of that order at the front window. You'll
Okay.
need to make arrangements with the Wexford County Sheriff's Office to get those prints taken.
okay,
And then also at the front window, you can make arrangements to pay that $120 fine.
okay.
All right,
Yep.
all right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Number 2632 ST, appearances counsel.
Courtney Lawrence on behalf of the people.
I'm sorry.
This is the first time with that.
Yes, it's gonna be one of those days. I can see that. Ms. Loy, did you read and sign this advice of rights form? The contact information contained on the back, is that accurate?
Yes.
Did you have the opportunity to meet with somebody from the public defender's office this morning?
Yes.
I have a complaint that alleges that on or about January 4th, 2026 in Herring Township of Wexford County, it is alleged that you committed the offense of operating a motor vehicle without security or insurance. That is a misdemeanor punishable by up to 1 year in jail and or a fine of not less than $200 nor more than $500. Do you understand those charges and the potential penalties? Ms. Lawrence, it looks like there's an agreement. Is that accurate?
Yes, Ms. Lai is going to plead to a civil infraction of no proof of insurance and in turn people will dismiss no insurance.
Ms. Loy, do you understand that you have the right to have an attorney in this case? And if you could not afford one, one would be appointed to represent you at public expense?
Yes.
And do you wish to continue without an attorney today?
Yes.
All right. So it's my understanding that you will be pleading guilty to the civil infraction of no proof of insurance, and which is a civil infraction punishable by a fine of $120. I'm sorry, $120. The charged offense of operating without security, the 1 year misdemeanor would be dismissed. Is that your understanding of the plea agreement?
Yes.
All right. Has anybody promised you anything in order to get you to plea other than the agreement?
No.
Anybody threatened you in any way?
No.
Is it your own free choice to plead today?
Yes.
All right, will you raise your right hand? You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yeah.
And to the allegation that on or about January 4th, 2026 in Herring Township of Wexford County, how do you plead to the civil infraction of no proof of insurance, responsible or not responsible?
Responsible.
All right, the defendant having entered a plea to responsible with no proof of insurance, the court hereby enters a $120 fine. Also, Ms. Loy, because the charged offense requires your prints to be taken, I have signed a fingerprint order. You'll need to get a copy of that order at the front window, make arrangements to have your prints taken at the Wexford County Sheriff's Office by February 20th. Okay, do you have any questions for me?
No.
All right, you can go out to the front window where you checked in, make a payment and get that fingerprint order. All right, thank you. This is case number 26-12-ST. Sir, did you read and sign this advice of rights form?
Yes,
The contact information on the back, is that accurate?
yes,
And is that a Cadillac address?
yes,
A 231 telephone number?
yes,
And do you have an email?
no,
All right. Did you have the opportunity to meet with somebody from the defender's office today?
yeah,
I have a complaint that alleges that on or about December 28th, 2025 in Herring Township of Wexford County, it is alleged that you committed the offense of operating with your, while your license was suspended, denied, or revoked. That is a misdemeanor punishable by up to 93 days in jail and or a fine of $500 and possible vehicle immobilization. Do you understand those charges and the potential penalties?
yes,
You do have the right to be represented by an attorney at all phases throughout this process, and if you cannot afford one, one would be appointed to represent you at public expense, but you may be required to repay a portion of that expense. Today, do you plan to hire an attorney, represent yourself, or request the appointment of an attorney?
or hire attorney,
I'm sorry,
or hire attorney,
you're going to hire your own attorney?
yes,
All right. The court will enter a not guilty plea on your behalf and will set the matter for a pretrial. That's where your attorney and the prosecutor will get together to see if there's a way to resolve the case short of going to trial. Now, if something happens that you can't hire an attorney or that attorney doesn't work out, you can always request the appointment of an attorney. And if you decide that you want to do that, contact the court and we'll get you the paperwork to make that happen, okay?
Okay.
Ms. Lawrence, any objection to a personal recognizance bond?
No, Your
Right, sir, I am going to authorize a personal recognizance bond, which is your promise to come back to court. You are to appear as ordered, keep your contact information current, not leave the state without permission, and to commit no new crimes. This charge does require that your fingerprints be taken, so I am ordering that your prints be taken by February 20th. You'll need to get a copy of this order at the front window where you checked in. Contact the Wexford County Sheriff's Office and make an appointment to get those prints taken. Okay? All right, you can go out to the front window where you checked in, get your next court date and that fingerprint order. Make sure whoever you hire is aware of that court date, because until they actually file an appearance with us, they won't receive any communication from them. All right. Thank you. Morning.
Good morning.
This is case number 2621ST. Sir, did you read and sign this advice of rights form?
I did.
The contact information on the back, is that
That's
accurate?
correct.
Did you have the opportunity to meet with somebody from the defender's office today?
I did.
I have a complaint that alleges that on or about December 26, 2025 in Herring Township of Wexford County, it is alleged in count number 1 that you committed the offense of operating with no license or multiple licenses. That is a misdemeanor punishable by up to 90 days in jail and or a fine of $100. Do you understand those charges and the potential penalties?
I do.
You do have the right to be represented by an attorney at all phases throughout this process. And if you could not afford one, one would be appointed to represent you, but you may be required to repay a portion of that expense. Do you understand that you have the right to an attorney?
I do.
Today, do you plan to hire an attorney, represent yourself, or request the appointment of an attorney?
I'll represent myself.
All right. Today, you have a couple of options available to you. I guess first, Ms. Lawrence, is there any resolution to this case?
There is not. I would ask for it to step for the trial.
All right. Today, you have a couple options. One is to plead guilty. If you pled guilty, you would be, the 90-day misdemeanor would enter on your record and you'd be sentenced today. The other is to plead not guilty. If you pled not guilty, the case would be set for a pretrial, which would give you the opportunity to meet with the prosecutor, see if there's a way to resolve the case short of either a guilty plea as charged or going to trial.
Okay.
Do you understand those two options?
I do.
All right. Today, then, do you plead guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty.
All right, court will enter the not guilty plea. We'll set the matter for that pretrial that I mentioned. Any objection to a personal recognizance bond, Ms. Lawrence?
No.
All right, Mr. Colberg, I am going to authorize the personal recognizance bond, which is your promise to come back to court with the conditions that you appear as ordered, keep your contact information current, not leave the state without permission, and to commit no new crimes. Okay, you'll need to go out to the front window where you checked in and get your next court date. All
Thank
right,
you.
thank you. How do you pronounce your last name?
Okay, who said?
K-who-zet. K-who-zet. You're gonna have to write that down. This is case number 2677 SM. Ma'am, did you read and sign this advice of rights
I
form?
did.
The contact information on the back, is that accurate? Did you have the opportunity to meet with somebody from the defender's office today?
Yes.
I have a complaint that alleges that on or about December 22nd, 2025 in Herring Township of Wexford County, it is alleged that you committed the offense of retail fraud second degree while at Walmart. That is a misdemeanor punishable by up to 1 year in jail and or a fine of $2,000 or 3 times the value of the difference taken if the prosecutor can meet certain conditions. Do you understand those charges and the potential penalties?
I do.
You do have the right to be represented by an attorney at all phases throughout this process. And if you could not afford one would be appointed to represent you at public expense, but you may be required to repay a portion of that expense. Today, do you plan to hire an attorney, represent yourself, or request the appointment of an attorney?
I requested an attorney.
All right, the court will make a referral to the public defender's office for the appointment of an attorney. We'll enter a not guilty plea on your behalf, and we'll set the matter for a pretrial. That's where your attorney and the prosecutor will get together to see if there's a way to resolve the case short of going to trial. You also have the right to have a bond set. Your bond is based upon the probability of you appearing at future court appointments, the seriousness of the offense charged, and the threat that you pose to the public. Ms. Lawrence, any objection to a PR bond with a no contact order?
Oh, yeah.
Ms. Kehuzet, I am going to authorize a personal recognizance bond, which is your promise to come back to court with the conditions that you appear as ordered, contact information current, not leave the state without permission, and to commit no new crimes. This charge does require your fingerprints to be taken. So I'm also ordering that you get those prints taken by February 15th. Also, I'm ordering a no contact with Walmart. No contact means no contact of any kind. You can't call them, you can't be on the property, you can't be in the store. Do you understand that? All right, you'll need to go out to the front window where you checked in, get your next court date. You'll have some paperwork to fill out for the defender's office, and then you'll get a copy of that fingerprint order and make sure that you make arrangements to get those taken by February 15th. All right, thank you. We are here for a settlement conference. We were here last time back on the 17th of September. We're currently set for a bench trial on February 27th. Is there any resolution of this case at all? No? Has there been any settlement discussion since we were last here?
No.
No? Let me ask you, do either of you think there's a possibility of a potential settlement out there?
Probably.
All right. What I'm going to do is, because of the value of this case, I'm going to send it to mediation. All right. And there's a cost to that, just so you know. But what's going to happen is then you're going to go to a mediator. Mediator is going to hear both sides, and they're going to tell you what they think is a fair outcome. And you can agree to it or not. But before we get to the trial, I want to try that. Okay. So we'll adjourn the trial. Make some notes here. Now, I don't want to set it out too long because I don't want to lose track of the case and make everybody continue to wait if there's no resolution. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to order it to mediation within 60 days. Okay. And I don't remember, does the ADR clerk get a hold of them with a list of mediators? All right. So the circuit court is going to send you a list of mediators, and you'll need to agree on a mediator. All right. And then you'll be at their scheduling. Okay.
Okay.
So before you leave today, make sure you stop at the front window and Make sure we have everybody's most recent contact information. And then what we'll do is we will also set this then for another scheduling conference. Within 90 days. If it's resolved, we're good. But if not, then we'll be back in here and see where things are at, okay? Any questions about any of that?
No.
Okay, you can go out to the front window where you checked in, and like I said, verify everybody's contact information, and we'll see where we go from there. And we are here, after having been here a couple times, we adjourned when we were here last time, if I recall correctly, you were working on a resolution?
I'm working with MCAA. Her name's Tasha. There was somebody in front of me, so she was waiting on some things for the court with those to see what kind of funding possibly could help me out and then go from there. And then I had to reapply for DHS because it ended on the 16th. So I reapplied to them and I'm kind of waiting on that also. So I'm kind of in limbo. It's just,
All right.
so I don't, then my boyfriend's truck just got stolen this morning and wrecked on me. So I'm just.
Oh, Yes, I had that case earlier today.
Yeah. Because
So,
he's getting prosecuted.
Mr. Feaster, let me ask you, how do you want to proceed then today? Do you want another adjournment or do you want to have a hearing and get a judgment in place?
Judgment.
Okay,
She'll still have time.
yeah, so
Now let's
what's,
just move tomorrow.
assuming I find in your favor, I'll order 10 days, but you'll have, I think it's up to 56 days to request the writ of eviction. So if she doesn't move out within the 10 days, then you can request the order of eviction. And then you've got, I believe it's 56 days to act on that.
Okay, so if he's willing to do that, then he's not, the lady at NMCA said that if he's not willing to work with me, then I could possibly not be able to get help.
Well, I can still work with you, but I don't want to wait forever on this.
I know, I understand that. I can't push any far much with what's going on to help me. That's where I'm at. I'm in a stale spot here to where it's only so much I can do on that part to wait for stuff to help me.
Yeah, so just because he gets the judgment doesn't mean he has to act on the judgment. If that makes
Also, this
sense.
looks bad on my CPS case that I've got going on,
Huh?
but I guess it is what it is, and my lawyer, I guess, will deal with that one. Oh, man, it's just. I'm just gonna have to beg my parents.
So let me ask, first of all, Mr. Feaster, how much are you claiming owed right now?
Well, the paperwork, you have the paperwork.
So all I have is your complaint that was filed indicates that rent was paid through June 1st. As of December 1st, $4,800 was owing, along with,
So I think we'd add another 700 to that. Wouldn't we?
I will have 300 on the 5th for him.
okay, but,
That's all. I'm taking my ex-husband back to court. too,
okay,
because he hasn't paid
okay,
his
hold on,
checks.
hold on. So we have a process we're gonna have to go through here, so we're gonna follow that process. So, Mr. Feaster, what you're saying is, well, first of all, everybody raise their right hands. Do both of you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Yes, sir.
All right. So, Mr. Feaster, when you filed your complaint, you said $4,800 was owing in rent. That was as of December 1st. Rent is $700 a month, is that correct?
Right.
So if we add in the January rent, that brings us to $5,500. Now, you also claimed $65 and $350. Looks like the $65 you wrote in there
That
was,
was court costs. That might be off a little bit.
I think you said it was for a dumpster that we decided that was not gonna get charged on me because of the lead poison that I've been dealing with my
Well,
kids.
actually, they agreed to pay for half. It was all their junk out of their yard.
But
I
I
couldn't
paid
continue
you
on the
for
lead.
that.
okay, hold on. I have to have a clean record here with you two talking over each other. That's not gonna work. So what's gonna happen is I'm gonna ask Mr. Feaster some questions. And then, Ms. Gary, you'll get the chance to respond, all right? All right, so let me look and see if I can find the court cost here. So it looks like you actually paid $130. And 30/20 and 30/20 for service. So I come up with 190.40 for costs. So Mr. Feaster, tell me about this dumpster, half of the dumpster.
The state found lead, right, on the property. Right. So in order to, so I signed up for a program where the state comes in and cleans up the lead. I had to put up, I think it was $4,000 for that to start. And then they had their whole yard was full of a lot of junk because her husband's or boyfriend's a scrapper. And so I had to get one of the very large dumpsters from Bigelow's, and they said they would pay half, which they had never done.
When was that?
How long ago was that?
Well, I'm asking you, so. If you can just ballpark
Last
it.
summer,
Summer of 25 or 24
I think so.
of 25?
Yeah,
Okay,
maybe spring.
okay. Now, when you say there was lead found on the property, are you talking about like lead paint, lead pipes? What do you mean
Well,
by
the
that?
state came in, they took soil samples and checked the paint. So they had to replace windows in it, and they painted the outside of the house, and it was in the dirt. I guess one of her kids were eating the dirt, so they ended up putting rocks all over in the yard. Whole yard's rocks now.
Okay, and so, but what you're claiming, the 350 for half of the dumpster, that had nothing to do with making the property correct again. That was to haul their stuff away?
Well, the state said they wouldn't come in with all that stuff in their way. The contractor said that they had to clean up the yards.
Okay, but
So
I guess what I'm asking is the dumpster wasn't, hauling away lead paint, it
Oh,
wasn't
no,
hauling
no,
away
no,
windows.
there's stuff in their yard.
Okay. All right, and stuff that was not there when they moved in? All right. And so you're asking for 350, is that exactly half of what the dumpster was?
$700. But this is gonna cause big to do. I don't even care about the 350. We can forget that,
Okay, all right, and
It's out
I
of
will,
control anyway.
we will remove the 350 then. And so that brings us to I come up with a total of 5,690.40. That is 5,500 for rent through January and 190.40 in costs. All right, is there anything else you want me to know?
Connor.
All right, now, Ms. Gary, he's agreed not to charge for the half the dumpster.
But you shouldn't, because that dumpster was the first initiation of getting the stuff out of, because the second one, when they did the landscaping, I put all my stuff in the dog area and had to rent a storage unit to put the rest of the stuff. And then they honestly didn't do the greatest job the second time dealing with my yard. So I'm still dealing with lead poisoning and getting my kids' blood taken every 3 months. And I've been dealing with that since my son was 2 and he's 6. So yeah.
How long have you lived here?
For since 2016 of October-ish, I think, maybe a little bit sooner than that. Been a while. And it's not, I mean, it's a house and I'm grateful for it, but it's not the greatest house and things should be fixed that shouldn't have been the way they are, because I was promised a new kitchen and all this other stuff and it's never once happened. But
It was nice when you moved in, or you wouldn't have moved in, I imagine.
I needed a house for my kids, so I moved in.
Okay, I'm not gonna have this back and forth. I've warned it once already, we're not doing this. No. Do you agree that your rental rate is $700 a month?
I agree, yes.
All right. And it looks like the last time rent was paid through, it was June 1st, is that correct?
I'd have to look back on when my last payment was to him through a money order and a certified check, because I did pay him for one of the other times he sent me or tried to send me for an eviction. I gave him like, I think $1,200 or $1,500 plus another $300. So I'd have to see those dates, and I don't have them on me. And I can get them from my bank, because that's where I got the certified check.
Well, the problem is we're here today for a hearing. Now, Mr. Feaster, I have a question for you. You mentioned something about the windows. Can you explain to me what
Yeah, the state found, I guess, on the sill of the windows on the inside of the house, they found some lead. So they replaced all the windows in the house.
the state replaced them?
Yeah.
May I say something about the windows?
Yes.
Okay, so it wasn't that the windows on the outside of it, it was when they opened and they dusted the dust of the paint that was underneath the other paint that was concealed with. It kept coming off, and then dust would fly over, and my kids, I had to wash my kids' hands all the time and their feet, because that's what the regulations were with the lead poisoning until everything got fixed. And it cost almost 90 grand for those windows, because the house was historical. So I had to wait 6 months for windows to be put in, because they had to be measured correctly and stuff like that.
So when did the issues first arise?
When my son, I went to a WIC appointment because I was concerned about my son, because he kept like staring out and like having like these little spasms. And it wasn't normal because I've had 2 kids. So when I went to the WIC appointment, they started doing the lead poisoning with the poke, and the lady questioned it. And I said, what? And she's like, I have to do that again. I don't believe the reading was correct. And she did it again. She goes, no, it was. And it was at a 13, and their high is 14. And she was like so concerned. So my son has a disability from all of this.
And when was it discovered?
2000, he would have been almost 2, or actually 1.5. He was born in 2019, so 21, 20 maybe, something like that, 1.5.
When did the state come in and do an inspection?
I have the paperwork on that. I'm trying to think if I have. Honestly, I can't remember on the dates. Let me see if I downloaded it all, any of that.
Let me ask you this. After it was discovered, did you pay rent?
Yes. I usually never pay or never miss rent, because my ex-husband, he paid my child support, so I used that because he was military, then he retired from the military and then stopped paying me. And then I had troubles paying my rent. That's why I'm bringing him back to court.
Mr. Feaster, do you recall when you were made aware that the windows were gonna have to be replaced and some remediation done?
Right after state went in, right after. I think it's been going on for what, about 3 years?
It's been going on since he was, like I said, 1.5. Hold on. Okay, here's also, I have the contractor, so 11 results found. Let's see. this is a new phone. That really sucks. I can give you the DHS worker's number. If you'd like to give him a call, I don't have it on me.
Okay, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm going to adjourn today's hearing. We're gonna reset it for next Thursday. One of the reasons I'm adjourning it is because the complaint certifies that it was the residential property was kept fit within the intended use and has been kept in reasonable repair and is in compliance with the applicable state and local health and safety laws. I need to do some research because I'll be honest with you, this is a first impression for this court as to whether or not any type of lead exposure indicates or would negate that. My gut tells me that it doesn't, because houses everywhere, especially in this town, are full of lead-based paint. However,
Any house before 1978.
correct, yeah. But that's something I want to do some research on before I make a ruling in the case. So we'll adjourn it. That'll give you some time to get some of the paperwork you need. And then certainly because I'm going to give you some more opportunity, Mr. Feaster, I'll give you more opportunity at that point as well. But the biggest question I have right now is in regards to this lead issue. So I'm going to research that issue. Okay. Parties can go out to the front window where you checked in and get your next court date and time.
Okay.
Thank you,
Can
Your
I
Honor.
try to make it after 3 again? if
I
possible?
don't know what my docket is.
3:30 anyway.
3:30? Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you. It's case number 25-1075 SC. And we are here for a show cause for fail to appear at creditor's exam. You're Mr. Carpenter?
Yes.
All right. Please raise your right hand. You solemnly swear or affirm that the facts you give today are true to the best of your information, knowledge, and belief.
Yes, sir.
In this case, there was a judgment entered by the magistrate in a small claims case on August 11th, 2025, in the amount of $1,268. That's $1,200 in damages, $50 in costs, and another $18 in, I believe, service fees, maybe. Did you receive this yellow sheet to fill out?
I did not know what any of this was. This is literally the two things this court date and this, and I didn't understand any of this. Because it didn't specify anything really on here.
So the purpose of a creditor's examination is to determine if you have assets to satisfy the judgment or to determine whether or not what your income is in order to get you put on some sort of monthly or biweekly payment plan.
Okay, I didn't
So-
understand it. Like I said, I didn't even receive the first court case papers. I don't have a problem paying the money back. I mean, I kind of do. I'd have to do a monthly payment plan, but
How much are you able to pay a month?
let's say $200 a month, starting next month. I just started a new job last week
All right.
and they're bi-weekly pay, so, you know, I haven't even got a first check yet.
Are you okay with $200 a month? Okay, so then what we will do is we will enter an installment plan for $200 a month. When are you able to make that first payment?
Let's see, my first check will come next week, but it's a partial check, so first, can I pull out my phone and look at a calendar?
Sure.
Got a couple bills I've got to catch up, so then I don't lose the little bit I have. Friday, 23rd. We say the 6th of February, or not February, I looked at that wrong. Hold on. 29th. Where we at here, first check will come the 6th. First payment, the 20th of February.
Okay, we can do that.
Can I call those in or do I need to come in?
You'll need to send it directly to her.
directly to Jenny.
Mhm.
Okay, how would you like that, money order?
There's a check in the mail, it's fine.
Or- Okay, I'll have to check, so I can send you money order or cash.
Money order,
Okay.
So we will do $200 a month starting February 20th. And then to make the accounting easy, we will just do the subsequent payments due the last day of the month.
Last day of the month.
Yep.
What's the subsequent payment, that payment? in
So your
general?
monthly payments,
Yeah.
your first one will be due the 20th of February.
I'll have it in the mail that day. I get paid on that day.
Okay, and well, so this is what I'm gonna do. We're gonna make the payments due the last day of each month.
Okay,
And due means her receipt of them, not postmarked.
okay, yeah, I'll get it in the mail, you know.
The other thing I'm going to do is I'm gonna set this up. Well, no, I won't do that. Okay, the court will enter that order. Are we able to do that right now, or? I don't have one. Well, maybe I do from before. No, I don't. We'll go ahead and get one printed off before you all leave today, so bear with us.
Not a problem.
A copy of that order, you can go to the front window where you check in and get a copy of it.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, this is case number, again, 26-1 LT, Philip Carlson versus Michelle Martinez and Tobias Bruno. We are here for our second hearing. We were here last time on the 12th, and we adjourned for defendants to seek legal advice. And we're back here today. Were you able to get legal advice?
We were able to get some legal advice, but we weren't able to get assigned anybody to actually like look at our case and, you know, give us more advice other than talking to like a legal secretary.
Okay.
But I mean, I guess we're fine proceeding. Our lease is up tomorrow. We're already leaving. So it's kind of, you know, redundant.
All right, so Mr. Carlson, I'll turn to you. How do you wish to proceed today?
If they're gonna leave tomorrow, then fine. So be it.
All right, so what I will do is we will adjourn this out. What's our next date? Was it the 12th or the 5th? The 5th. We will adjourn this to February 5th. If they're out, all you need to do is file a dismissal then.
All right.
You said you'll be out tomorrow? Okay. Go out to the front window where you checked in, get your next court date, and then, like I said, if they move out, you'll just file a dismissal.
Okay.
All right, thank you. All right, this is case number 26-50-LT. And you, sir, Mr. Bowker,
Yes.
and you're Ms. McLean. All right, Ms. McLean, well, I should say, for both of you, we are here for our first appearance in this matter. Ms. McLean, do you remember receiving an advice of rights in this case?
Yes.
All right. I have to go through those with you, even though you received them, so bear with me while I do that. You have the right to an attorney, the right to proper venue, and the right to a jury trial if you request that trial within a certain amount of time. The right to seek financial assistance and to know that a judgment is not always necessary for that assistance. To resolve the case with mediation, the right to, if both parties agree, and the right to a consent judgment or conditional dismissal. And any appeal to the circuit court must be taken within 10 days from the date of judgment in this case. And then on the back of that, it listed the resources where you could attempt to seek help. And this is a complaint for non-payment of rent. So my first question to you is, are you requesting an adjournment for either legal advice or financial assistance?
Financial assistance, I was able to get 620 covered by DHS.
Okay.
once I pay the 400 remaining.
So what we will do then, is we will set this out 2 weeks, which will put us at the 12th.
Yes.
So we'll just set this out for the 2 weeks for financial assistance. Now, you're going to be required to file proof of application for assistance, and you can get that at that form. Well, we might be, do you have it right there? Make sure you fill that out and file it with the court before next time, okay? All right, parties can go out to the front window where we checked in and get your next court dates. Appearances, counsel?
Brittany Lawrence on behalf of the people.
Jared Shuey on behalf of Michael Smith.
All right, this is case number 2619 ST. Mr. Smith, did you read and sign this advice of rights form?
Yes, sir.
The contact information contained on the back, is that accurate?
Yes, sir.
I know you have an attorney here on your behalf, but because we do track it, did you meet with somebody from the defender's office today? No. I have a complaint that alleges that on or about December 27th, 2025 in Cedar Creek Township of Wexford County, it is alleged that you committed the offense of operating while your license was suspended, denied, or revoked as a second or subsequent offender. That is a misdemeanor punishable by up to 1 year in jail and or a fine of $1,000 and possible vehicle immobilization. Do you understand those charges and the potential penalties?
Yes.
You do have the right to be represented by an attorney at all phases throughout this process. And if you could not afford one will be appointed to represent you at public expense. You may be required to repay a portion of that expense. And I know you have retained counsel here, but if something happens and you want the court to appoint an attorney, you just need to contact us and we'll make that referral. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right. Counsel, how does your client plead to the charges?
Not guilty, Your Honor.
All right, the court will enter a not guilty plea, set the matter for a pretrial. That's where your attorney and the prosecutor will get together to see if there's a way to resolve the case short of going to trial. You also have the right to have a bond set. Your bond is based upon the probability of you appearing at future court appointments, the seriousness of the offense charged, and the threat that you pose to the public. Ms. Lawrence, do you have any objection to a personal recognizance bond in this case?
No.
Counsel, I assume you don't either?
No, Your Honor.
All right. The court will authorize a personal recognizance bond with the conditions that you appear as ordered, keep your contact information current, not leave the state without permission, and to commit no new crimes. The charge does require your fingerprints to be taken. So as a condition of bond, I'm ordering that you have those prints taken by February 20th. When you're done here, you'll go out to the front window where you checked in. You'll get your next court date, and you'll also get this fingerprint order. Make sure you contact the Wexford County Sheriff's Office because you can't just stop in to get those taken. Okay? Do you have any questions for me at all?
No, sir.
Anything else for the record, counsel?
No, Your Honor.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you.
You can go out to the front window.
There we go.
There we go. Okay. This is case number 26-58-ST. Ma'am, did you receive a advice of rights form from the court talking about your rights to an attorney and your rights to a trial?
Yes, I did.
Did you understand those rights?
Yes, I do.
Did you have the opportunity to meet with somebody from the defender's office today?
No, I didn't.
I have a complaint that alleges that on or about January 6, 2026, in the village of Mesick of Wexford County, it is alleged in count number 1 that you committed the offense of operating while your license was suspended, denied, or revoked. That is a misdemeanor punishable by up to 93 days in jail and or a fine of $500 and possible vehicle immobilization. In count number 2, it's alleged that you committed the offense of operating a motor vehicle without security or insurance. That is a misdemeanor of not more than 1 year in jail and not less than $200. And or not less than $200, nor more than $500. Do you understand those charges and the potential penalties?
Yes, I do.
Is Springdale Road still a good mailing address for you?
Yes, it is. Oh, wait, no, it's P.O. Box 52.
Still Thompsonville?
Yes, Bill Thompsonville.
All right. You do have the right to be represented by an attorney at all phases throughout this process, and if you could not afford one will be appointed to represent you at public expense, but you may be required to repay a portion of that expense. Today, do you plan to hire an attorney, represent yourself, or request the appointment of one?
Request an appointment of one.
All right, the court will make a referral to the public defender's office for the appointment of an attorney, enter a not guilty plea on your behalf, and will set the matter for a pretrial. That's where your attorney and the prosecutor will get together to see if there's a way to resolve the case short of going to trial. You also have the right to have a bond set. Your bond is based upon the probability of you appearing at future court appointments, the seriousness of the offense charged, and the threat that you pose to the public. Counsel, any objection to personal recognizance bond? All right, the court will authorize a personal recognizance bond, which is your promise to come back to court with the following conditions: that you appear as ordered, keep your contact information current, not leave the state without permission, and to commit no new crimes. Because this charge does require your fingerprints to be taken, I have signed a fingerprint order. As a condition of your bond, you are to have those prints taken by February 15th at the Wexford County Sheriff's Department. You'll need to make arrangements to get those prints taken. You can't just stop in, so you'll have to have an appointment. From the court, you will be receiving your next court date, that fingerprint order, and some paperwork for the defender's office, okay?
Okay, yes, Your Honor.
Do you have any questions for me today?
No, I do not, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. You're free to leave.
Thank you.
All right, court calls the people of the state of Michigan versus Gerald Tibbs, case number 2675 ST. We're here for an arraignment. Mr. Tibbs, did you have the opportunity to meet with somebody from the defender's office today about the arraignment?
I didn't even know I had an arraignment today.
Right. All right. So it's alleged that back on January 7th, 2026, in the city of Cadillac in Wexford County, that you operated a motor vehicle without security. That is a misdemeanor, punishable by not more than 1 year in jail and or a fine of not less than $200 nor more than $500. Do you understand those charges and the potential penalties?
Yes, and I do got insurance, but I got it.
Hold on. Mr. Tibbs, I don't want you to say anything about the case quite yet, all right? So I'm gonna go through your rights with you. If you require accommodations to use the court because of disabilities, or if you require a foreign language interpreter to help you fully participate in court proceedings, please contact the court immediately to make arrangements. You've been brought to court on a misdemeanor charge, and you have the following basic rights: to plead guilty or not guilty, or to stand mute. If you stand mute, a plea of not guilty will be entered, and you may plead no contest with the permission of the court. To have a trial by jury and to have the assistance of an attorney. You have the right to an attorney appointed at public expense if you are indigent, which means without money to hire an attorney, and if the offense charge requires a minimum jail sentence or the court determines that it might sentence you to jail, the appointing authority will decide if you are indigent and appoint counsel if you are eligible. You may have to repay the expense of an appointed attorney, and you may contest your ability to pay the court-ordered fees if the court attempts to collect those costs for an attorney, and the court must determine your ability to pay at that time. If you have a trial, you have the following rights: to call witnesses to speak for you at trial. You may get an order signed by the court. To require witnesses to come to court, to see, hear, and question all witnesses against you at trial. To be a witness for yourself or to remain silent. If you choose not to be a witness on your own behalf, the prosecuting official may not comment on your refusal to testify. To be presumed innocent unless proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. If you plead guilty or no contest and your plea is accepted, you will not have a trial of any kind. You'll be giving up those trial rights we just went through. You also have the right to be released on bond, and we'll get to that in a moment. If you are now on probation or parole and you enter a plea of guilty or no contest, or a finding of guilt is made by the judge or jury, it may result in a violation of your probation or parole. You can be sentenced to jail and fines plus costs. The court will tell you on the record the name of the offense, the mandatory minimum jail sentence, if any, and the maximum possible penalty for the offense, including jail, fines, or both. Fines, costs, and other financial obligations imposed by the court must be paid at the time of the assessment, except when the court allows otherwise for good cause shown. If you are unable to pay due to financial hardship, contact the court immediately to request a payment alternative. An appeal to the circuit court may be taken within 21 days from the date of sentence, or is permitted pursuant to court rule. If the sentence includes incarceration, and if you wish to file an appeal but are financially unable to retain a lawyer, the court will appoint a lawyer to represent you on appeal if the request is made within 14 days from sentencing. Federal law and or state law may prohibit you from possessing or purchasing ammunition or a firearm. including a rifle, pistol, or revolver. If you are convicted of a misdemeanor crime of violence and you are a current or former spouse, parent, or guardian of the victim, you share a child in common with the victim. You are or were cohabitating with the victim as a spouse, parent, or guardian, or you are or were involved with the victim in another similar relationship. Do you understand those rights?
Yes.
You do have the right to be represented by an attorney at all phases throughout this process. And if you cannot afford one, one would be appointed to represent you at public expense, but you may be required to repay a portion of that expense. Today, do you plan to hire an attorney, represent yourself, or request the appointment of an attorney?
Can I get a public defender? I've got
All
no
right,
money.
court will make a referral to the public defender's office for the appointment of an attorney, enter a not guilty plea on your behalf, and will set the matter for a pretrial. That's where your attorney and the prosecutor will get together to see if there's a way to resolve the case short of going to trial. Mr. Harrison, I heard you and Ms. Lawrence talking that Mr. Tibbs is currently setting a sentence. Is that accurate?
He is. He was sentenced ironically on January 12th to 300 days to leave him in custody of the jail until November. We weren't aware of this situation. I think he forgot about it when we last had court or had other things on his mind. Obviously, if he requests a public defender, it'll probably be assigned to me. We can deal with it pretty.
All right.
Just, you know, the obvious thing is that he's not gonna get jail credit, but
Yeah, so no matter what I do, whether I do a
Yeah.
PR bond or a monetary bond, he's not going to receive credit for the time he sits on this case.
I
So,
would prefer that you said a bond, just in the event that something does happen where I could qualify him for some credit, I would love to do so.
Ms. Lawrence, any input on bond?
No.
All right, I will set a nominal bond. I will do a $100 10% bond with the conditions that Mr. Tibbs appear as ordered, keep his contact information current, not leave the state without permission, and to commit no new crimes. Mr. Tibbs, because this case requires your fingerprints to be taken, I have signed a fingerprint order. They'll take your fingerprints at the jail, but I'm ordering that as a condition of your bond, those prints be taken by the 15th of next month. Okay?
Okay.
Anything else for the record, counsel?
Nothing else.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Jail.
Thank you, Your Honor.